Such a solid relationship. Matter of fact, there's been talks about marriage. Can we apply as a couple?
I'm expecting a baby. Surely I should include her in my application, right?
I'm an African man with 2 wives and a big family. I want all of us to be able to go to the US. How can I apply for my entire family?
I'm married, but not in good terms with my spouse. It's so frustrating. Even just getting the children's digital pictures to be taken, it's such a hassle. Oh, I'm tired. In fact, we're actually probably going separate ways. Should I apply and exclude them from my application for the DV lottery?
I have been a lucky candidate and have been selected to proceed with my green card lottery application. Once in a million chance. I'm so excited. But the dilemma is I kind of wrote in my application that I'm single. And in actual sense, I have a family and I have kids. I think I should just update the embassy and just let them include my children and my family so that we all go together to the US. I mean, I have been selected as a winner, so they'll have to give me the visa, right?
Really? Will they? Stay tuned and find out. Hello there and welcome to the Visa Nerd. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Anne. I'm the creator of this channel where we talk all things travel, visa, immigration, and related topics. This video is part of an ongoing series on the DV Lottery 2022, where you stand a chance to win a green card lottery and get permanent residency to the United States of America. In my last video, I covered the frequently asked questions on the DV lottery application. If you've not watched that video, I have it linked right here. You can click on it immediately after this video, or you can also check it out in the link on the description box below. If you have a family, are looking to grow a family soon, or perhaps you're in a marriage and for one reason or another it's not working out, you're looking to leave, but yet you're still interested in applying and actually winning the green card lottery, you need to watch this video to the end. This video is for you. I'm gonna share a guide on exactly how to proceed making your application and mostly what mistakes to avoid that could cost you and your family's future in America. Some of the family related questions that I was asked about this DV lottery application one of them was, does my win include my family? Yes, your win does include your family. You come as a package as long as you've included them in your application. Your spouse, your children, yes, they will join you if you win the DV lottery. Can you apply for a family member from a different country? Yes, you can apply for a family member. You can even apply for a friend, even if you're in a different country, as long as they have their particulars required for every application. You need to have their digital photograph. You need to have their passport biodata page. You need to also have their date of birth and other details that are required for you to make the actual application. How do I respond to my marital status? You respond truthfully as per your exact status at this point in time when you're making your application. It's very clear. You need to either be single, married, divorced, legally separated, or widowed, and there's nothing in between. Please don't say you're married and yet you're actually not married. Also, don't say you're single if you know you're actually married. Now, I know there are situations whereby some people are in marriages and perhaps it's not working out. Perhaps you're looking to separate or maybe have even separated but not done it legally. You've not actually gone to court and filed the paperwork for a legal separation. Until then, until you do so, you're still considered married. So please do not, in that case, say that you're separated. My advice for couples who may be in this position is try and get your spouse's cooperation however you can. It's for the better of your children and your future, and it's for a mutually beneficial goal. So try as much as you can. But please don't misrepresent yourself by saying that you're single while in actual sense you're married and you have children. And even if you can live with the fact that you want to leave your entire family behind and start afresh in the US, it's still immigration fraud, and that will not go down well. You'll actually jeopardize all chances that you'll ever have of going not just to America, but also probably to other countries. And in the case where you actually applied as a single person and then by luck you're chosen as one of the successful candidates and then come forward and say that in actual sense you have a family, they will not give you a visa. That will be instant disqualification of not just a green card lottery, but any other visa that you wanted to obtain. Let's say for a tourist visa, for a student's visa, or any other visa that you indeed was applying at that point in time of the interview, you will be instantly disqualified. So I was also asked what information is required for somebody who is not married to a US citizen or a US spouse. So the information about your spouse that you need to have while making this application is you need to have their digital pictures, you need to have their passport biodata page, you need to have details about their date of birth city, the country. Yeah. And how about information if you're married to a spouse who is a US citizen or a US permanent resident? So for this case, you do not have any requirements, mostly because they will not require to give your spouse a visa since he or she is already either a permanent resident or a citizen of the US. So you really don't need to give any information. But if you want to, you can still provide, but they will, even if you provide all the pictures about like the date of birth, their country of birth, and all those information that I've just mentioned in the earlier question, you don't necessarily need to have the digital pictures. And whatever information you give, if it's for this case, it's voluntary, it's not required. So next question, if we're married, do we need to both of us have passports to apply for the DV lottery? It depends on what your intention is. To increase your chances, both of you may want to apply. However, it will require both of you to have a passport in that case, such that the wife makes her application as a primary applicant and includes the husband, and that way you both have a chance of going, but through the wife as a primary applicant. And then the other situation is, let's say the husband makes the application as a primary applicant, and again the wife is covered under him in his application, and both of you now have double the chances of actually going, as opposed to if it's just one of you making the application. In the case that it's only one of you who has a passport, then in that case, that spouse is the one to make the actual application as the primary applicant and loop in the spouse as part of the application as a secondary applicant. So because as a secondary applicant, you do not need to have a passport, it's not required. As long as the primary applicant has a passport, then both of you may be covered under that one application. But remember, to increase your chances, both of you can make each an application as a primary applicant, and then the spouse, now you double your chances. What information is required if you're legally separated? Okay, so if you're legally separated, you need to have all your details, your passport details, your digital pictures, but you also need to have details about your spouse. You need to provide that even though you're legally separated. Failure to provide information actually leads to disqualification of your application. What you need from your spouse is their date of birth, their birth city and country. You need to have their passport details. You can have their biodata page of the passport and also their digital picture. But please note, even though you've provided your spouse's information at the time of application, you did it while you're legally separated. So what it means is that in the event that you're actually a winner of the green card lottery and you're given the visa, your spouse will not be given the visa and will not be permitted to go with you. Why? Because you were legally separated at the time of application. So you will be allowed to go to the US. Your children will also be allowed if you included them in your application, but your spouse will not. Also know that if you file as legally separated and you do not provide your spouse's details, you will be disqualified. So you still won't get the green card. So as much as you're separated, you still will have to provide information about your spouse. And further to that, if you actually misrepresent yourself and say that you're actually single while you're legally separated, you will be disqualified. So you have to provide your spouse's information. So what it means is that even if you're engaged, even if you're getting married tomorrow and the application deadline is today, you're submitting your documents today, you can't say that you're married and you're not married. So the answer to all this is that just when you're doing the application, just say your truthful status as at the time of submission. Otherwise, if you misrepresent yourself and you're caught in it, game over. Now, in case you've already submitted your application and unfortunately have already misrepresented yourself, and come May, you're selected as a winner and you're invited for a visa interview, my genuine advice would be, honestly, just forgo that interview. You know why? Because if there's a legal trail that can be traced that you were either married and you said you're single, or you said that you're single while you're actually legally separated, they will find out because they'll do the investigations at that point in time. And once they catch you in a lie, they will not only refuse your visa application for the green card, they will also refuse any other tourist visa, student's visa that you will ever apply. And in case you have already a valid visa that is still valid up to now, it will be revoked. So there's no point of ruining all these chances. Just forgo going for the visa interview, and that way you don't get caught. Then come next year, you can still make a fresh and clean application and do not misrepresent yourself. One of the reasons why I advocate for every single person to just be doing his or her own application themselves is to avoid any errors that may be put in your application, submitted, and then they cost you. Because I've seen situations whereby at the cyber cafe, someone is paid to actually do that application on your behalf. And I feel like if there's a monetary incentive, then the attendant may actually be more inclined to getting more applications done rather than actually doing them well. And errors may happen at this point in time. Case example, you say that you're unable to get your children's digital pictures, and then the cyber attendants may just say, you know what, it's okay, you can just say that you're single, apply as single, and then afterwards you'll just say that you actually have a family. Do you know how that will cost you? It will cost you and your entire future of ever even stepping foot in America. So for them, it's more of income coming in, but for you, it's more of if there's an error that is made, then it's definitely your future to travel, to get a visa, or even to immigrate to the US that is going to be impaired. Next question. What status do you put in the case where you're about to get married or are engaged? So let's take an example that today is on the 10th of November, which is the actual submission deadline. And then you're bound to get married on the 11th of November. You may be tempted to just apply as a married person. In any case, aren't you just getting married 24 hours after? But the thing is, with visas and with immigration, they are very anal when it comes to the details. They are very, very particular, very strict. So if you submitted on the 10th of November, but you said that you were married, and actually your marriage certificate is dated on the 11th of November, do you know, you'll be instantly disqualified, unfortunately. So just say that you're not married. If you win, if you're selected, there's a DS form 260 that you'll need to fill, and now that's the time you actually provide the updated information. So just say you're single, apply as a single person, and then once you're married, update them and tell them, now I'm married and these are the forms. As long as it's before the interview session, both of you will still be granted the visa. But if it's after, then it's a totally different case. Thanks guys, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.